Hi YouTube family, my name is Vicky. So in today's video we are going to learn how to connect to an instance or EC2 machine which is running in the private subnet. When I say running in the private subnet, that means that machine we are not able to connect from the internet. How to connect to that machine, that is something we are going to learn in this. Now if you look at the diagram here, imagine that you are a user and you need to connect to an instance which is running in the private subnet. Here we have a public subnet, and here we have one of the machine as well, that is called Bastion host, and here we have the Linux machine. Now here we have Linux or Windows or any machine, whatever you are comfortable with. Let's suppose this machine is running in the private subnet. So connecting this machine from outside the AWS VPC, it's not possible. So what we can do is we can connect to the public subnet first, and then we are going to connect to the private instance. Now how we are going to configure all those things, that is something we are going to learn in detail. Let me go to my AWS console and start the demo. If you want to follow along, you can also do that. Here I logged into my AWS console, and make sure you need to select one of the region for this demo. So here I have selected North Virginia. The first, what all things we require for this demo. First, we need to create a EC2 machine. We need the security group. We need the VPC. We need to create the route table. We need to create the internet gateway. We also need to create NAT gateway if we need to connect to the internet for our private machine. We need to create, elastic IP as well. The first thing which I am going to create, that is the VPC. I already have one of the VPC created here. This is the default VPC provided by the AWS. I'm not going to touch the default VPC because in the default VPC we have couple of settings which are already there. So if I'm going to select the default VPC, it might be you are not going to understand each and every step how we are going to connect to a machine which is running in the private subnet. So for this demo, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new VPC. I'm going to create each and everything from the scratch. So if you want to follow along, you can also do that. Now in order to create a VPC, we have couple of options. Either we can click here on the VPC, and first of all, let me tell you how we can come on this page. Once we are logged into the AWS, what we need to do is we need to select the VPC from here, and here we need to select the VPC. Once we select the VPC, we land on this page. Now here we have the option to create a VPC. We can also create a VPC from here. So let me click on create VPC. Once I am going to click on the create VPC, I will get couple of options. VPC only, VPC and more. If I am going to select VPC and more, what will, it's a console which will help me to create subnet route table with a single click. That is something I don't want to do. So what I'm going to do is I will go step by step. So first I'm going to create a VPC. So here is the VPC, and here is the VPC only option, and here it is asking me to enter the name, which is optional, but we need to give the name. So the name which I'm going to give my VPC. Here we have the option for the IP version 4. So let me give some IP version 4, 192.168.0.0/16. Here I have option to select the IP version 6, but for this I am not going to select the IP version 6. Here we have the tendency option which says the dedicated and default. I will go with the default option. If I go with the dedicated option, what will happen? I have to pay money because this is the underlying hardware. I'm going to use the underlying hardware for the VPC. So I have to pay for the underlying hardware. So make sure you are not going to select the dedicated here. Otherwise you end up paying a lot of money for this. Just go with the default option, and here we have the tag option. So you can add tag if you need to add more tag, like let's suppose if I want to add tag like environment is going to be prod, something like that. That is totally up to your choice, but as of for this demo I'm not going to add anything. So let me create a VPC. Now my VPC is created. So let me go to my VPC. Here I can see my VPC. My VPC is the name, and here I can see the VPC ID, and here I can see the IP v4 CIDR block. So VPC is created. Now the next thing which I need to create a subnet. These are the subnet, for the default VPC. Here you can see the VPC ID. These are all for the default VPC which is provided by the AWS. Let me create a subnet. While creating the subnet, the first thing we need to select the VPC. So make sure you are going to select the VPC which you have just created. It is not something that you will select the default VPC. Otherwise your subnet will create it in the default VPC. So let me select the VPC, my VPC here, and here we need to give the subnet name. So my private subnet, this is going to be the name for the first subnet which I'm going to create. Availability zone, I have a choice to select the availability zone. From these availability zone I can select. If I'm not going to select, what will happen, Amazon is going to select the best available availability zone for me. So let me go with the Amazon recommendation here. Here we need to enter the CIDR block. So 192.168.1 dot let me go with 0 and 24. Again, here we have option to give tags. If you want to give tags, you can give here, otherwise just create it. My private subnet is created. Let me create one more subnet, and this is going to be the public one. Let me go with all the previous option. Only the thing which I am going to change is the name and the IP CIDR block. 192.168. Let me go with this thing. Till this time we have created a VPC and we have created a subnet. So two subnet we have created. Let me see, let me go with the name. So let me filter this thing. This is the first subnet and this is the second subnet, and both the subnet I have created in the VPC which I have created. Now the next thing which we need to do is we need to create the route table. Now, what exactly the use of the route table? The route table is to route the traffic. Let's suppose you are creating a machine in one of the subnet, that is a private subnet, okay, and you want your machine to communicate with the machine which is there in the other VPC. So all those settings, all those path setting, route setting, you have to do it in the route table. And how we can do that, I will explain you. So here we need to create a route table. Here I'm going to create two route table, okay. The first route table is my private RT. This is going to be a private one. I need to select the VPC from here and create. Let me create one more. My public RT and VPC select. Let me filter this thing. Here we have two route table created. This is also in the same VPC, but this is created at the time we have created the VPC. So this is the default one. I'm not going to do any changes in the default one. So that is the reason I have created two new route table, one with the name public and the other one with the name private. Now the next thing which I'm going to do is I'm going to assign subnet to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign public subnet to the public route and private subnet to the private route. So how to assign a subnet? For that, what we need to do is we need to select one of the route table. Then we need to go to this third tab which says subnet associate. Let me click on that. Edit subnet. Here we are able to see all the subnets which are there in my VPC. Here, from here I need to select, I think this one is public. I don't remember it. Let me go back and see. Yes, this was the public. Edit subnet association, and from here we need to select the public one. Save. The same thing I'm going to do it for the private. Subnet associate, edit subnet, and here we need to select the private. Till this point we have created the VPC, we have created the subnet, we have created the route table. The next thing which I'm going to do is I'm going to create a internet gateway. What is the use of the internet gateway? Let's suppose my machine need to connect to the internet. So I need to provide that kind of connectivity, and that connectivity I will get with the help of the internet gateway. Now one internet gateway is already created. This is for the default VPC. If you can see, this is the default VPC which is provided by the AWS. Okay. I'm going to create a new internet gateway, and this is a fully managed service by AWS. So that means I don't have to manage this service. I don't have to update this service, or if there is any problem with that service, I don't have to do anything. This is fully managed by AWS. I just need to create this service. So how to create that service? We just need to click on the create internet gateway, and here we can give the name my IGW name I'm going to give, and create internet gateway. Now once this is created, the state is detached. So the first thing which I need to do is I need to attach this one to my VPC. One more thing you need to remember here, you can only attach one internet gateway with one VPC. Here, if I'm going to select the VPC, see, I'm not getting the second VPC option, the default VPC option here. Why I'm not getting that option? Because that VPC is already connected to the internet gateway, right? So here we have this VPC which I have created. Let me select this thing. Here we have the command line as well. So in this video, we are not going to talk about the command line, but in near future, I'm going to create a video from, in that video, I'm going to explain how you can create all those VPC, subnet, private internet gateway, route table with the help of the command line. Let me attach this thing. Now the state is attached. Now the next thing which we need to do is we need to go to the route table, and we need to go to the public route table, and in the public route table what we need to do is we need to go to the routes. In the route we need to edit this route, add route 000, that means it is open to the world, and from here we need to select the internet gateway. So let me tell you one more time. Here in the public route where I have the public subnet, this subnet connected, I have added one of the route to it, and this route is to go to the internet. Okay, now the next thing which I need to do is I need to create a couple of security groups as well. Now this security group I can create at the time of creation of the machine, or this security group I can create before creating my EC2. So let me create my security group. So how to create a security group? We need to click on the security group and we need to click here. So let me give the name my SG demo. Here we can give the description, allow SSH access. Now here we have two options. One is the inbound and the other one is the outbound. Outbound, if you see, all traffic is allow, right? And in the inbound there is no traffic right now. So we are going to add the traffic later on. Let me create this thing. The next thing which we need to do is we need to go to the EC2 console and create a couple of machines. Okay, for this demo what I'm going to do is I'm going to create two machines. First machine I'm going to create in the public subnet, and the second machine I'm going to create in the public subnet. Okay, the public subnet is the one which is connected to a route table, and then that route table we have the internet gateway attached. So that means whatever the machine I'm going to create it in the public subnet, that machine can go to the internet, and if that machine can go to the internet, that means I'm able to SSH to that machine from my local machine, right? Now here we need to click on launch instance. I will go with the first machine, select. Now the second machine is to select the instance type. I will go with the free tier. Configure instance. This tab is important. Here the first one is the number of the instance. If I need to create couple of instance, I can change this value from 1 to 2 to 5, whatever my requirement is. We also have an option for the spot instance. If you are not aware what exactly the spot instance, I have already created one of the video. You can go and watch that video. You will get idea regarding the spot instance, reserved instance, on-demand instance, what is the difference between all those instance and what instance we select. Now here we have the networking option. Here we have two VPC. First one is the default one and the second one is the my VPC which we have created. So let me select that VPC. And here in the subnet, it is showing me public subnet and the private subnet. So this one, I will go with the public subnet. Auto assign public IP. This one is disabled right now. I need to enable this thing for the public subnet so that it will assign a public IP to my machine. Rest all the things I will go with default. I am not going to touch anything in the storage. I don't want more than 8 GB of the storage. 8 GB is fine with me. And let me give a name, public, or rather Bastion host. Configure security group, and in the security group we have already created one of the security group, and that security group is not showing here. So we did a mistake. At the time of creation of the security group, we have selected a different VPC. That is the reason it is not showing here. That's okay. Let me create a security group. Let me give a name, my demo SG new, something like that. Let me copy this thing and paste it in the description as well. Now here the traffic is open for the SSH custom. Here we have three options: custom, anywhere, and my IP. If I'm going to select my IP, it will pick up my public IP. So that means this port is only going to allow from this machine. If I go with anywhere, that means this machine I can connect from any machine. And custom, I can give my private range or the security group here. Let me go with my IP, review and launch. Here we need to select the key pair. Key pair is a combination of a public and a private key. Let me create a new key pair and let me give a name to the key pair, new demo Bastion first. Okay, launch instance. Now the same way I'm going to create one more instance, but the instance which I'm going to create this time, I will create in the private subnet. Here we need to select the VPC. Here we need to select the private, and this setting auto assign public IP is disabled. I'm not going to enable this thing. I don't need a public IP for this one. Okay, even if I'm going to assign a public IP, that is not going to help. Okay, this is in the private subnet. I will go with all the default option. Let me give a name, private machine. Here we need to select the security group. So for that, let me select the security group and review and launch. I'm going to select the same key pair which I created for the previous machine. Okay, here it is. Let me check this box and create this thing. Now we have couple of machines created, one machine which is running in the private subnet and the other machine which is running in the public subnet. And let me filter that information with the help of the VPC. So if you select the VPC, you need to go with the VPC option. Okay, now these are the two machines. The first machine which is with the public IP, and that machine is running in the public subnet, and the other machine with the private IP, there is no public IP to this machine, and this machine is running in the private subnet. Now let me try to connect to the machine which is running in the public subnet. For that, what I need to do is I need to select my machine and I need to copy the public IP of that machine. Now the next thing which I need to do is I need to go to that location where I have my key pair downloaded. For that, what I'm going to do is let me go to the download location. Here we have our key pair. So the command to connect SSH -I, if you are not sure like what exactly this thing is, you can also do one thing. You can select the machine, you can click on connect, and once you click on connect, you will get 4 tabs. You need to select the SSH. From here you can copy this thing. Let me go here and let me paste this thing. If you are on Mac or Linux, then you need to change the permission of this file, this key pair. So how you can change the permission? That is with the help of the chmod command. I will show you that command, but before that, let me enter this one, and here we will get the error message. Let me click on yes. See, unprotected private file, and here we are also getting a message, permission denied. What I need to do is, in order to correct this thing, I need to select my machine. I need to click on connect, and here we have the option chmod 400. 400 is the permission. That is something we need to change. So let me go chmod 400 and the key pair. We are done. Now let me try to connect to my machine. Now here I am able to connect to my machine, and if I am going to ping google.com, I will able to go to the Google, because this machine is running in the public subnet, and the public subnet is connected to the internet, and that is the reason we are able to connect to this machine. Now the next thing which we need to do is we need to connect to our private machine. Now this private machine, we don't have any public IP here. So how I am going to connect to this private machine? For that, if I go to my route table in the VPC, let me go to VPC. And let me go to the route table. Now here, if I go to my route table and if I go to the route, here we see destination local here for the public, and for the private, if I go to the route, destination local is enabled, which is active by default. So that machine, if I am going to create my machine in this VPC, they are able to connect to each other for that. So let me go to the EC2. Instance running. Now let me grab the private IP of this machine. Let me go and try to ping this thing. I will not able to ping this machine, but I am able to connect to this machine. So let me show it to you how we are able to connect to this machine. For that, what we need to do is first we need to copy the data which is there in the key pair. So for that, I need to exit to this machine. Exit. Now I'm in my download location. Here it is, and I need to get the file. New. Let me copy this thing. Copy. Login to my public machine. Now here what we need to do is we need to create one file. Now how to create a file? That is with the help of the touch command. Touch is going to create a empty file for me. So let me give a name, new file, something like that, and let me nano new file. Paste it here. Let me save it. Done. The next thing which I need to do is I need to change the permission of this chmod 400 and then the file name. We are done. Now to connect to this machine, again we need to click on connect. Now from here we need to copy this thing. My EC2 dashboard. Okay. Copy this 192. So the command is SSH -i. After that we need to give the key pair. Oops, the auto complete is not installed, so that is the reason. So let me do ls and SSH -i new file, then the username EC2-user @ whatever the private IP we have. Okay, I'm not able to connect to this. Let me see the reason why I'm not able to connect. So for the first thing, for the troubleshooting, what I need to do is I need to check the security group. So this is my security group and port number 22 is enabled, and the source IP from where I can connect to the machine is my local IP, right? So that is the reason I'm not able to connect to this machine. So what I need to do is I need to do a couple of changes to this. For that, what I'm going to do is I will go to the edit in mode and I'm going to change this thing to anywhere. Let me save it. Done. Now let me try to connect one more time. Control X. I'm able to connect. See, I'm able to connect to my private machine. Let me exit. Here I'm in a different machine. This is my public machine. So let me go and check. Instance running. Bastion host 192 ending with 178. This is my public machine. Now let me try to connect to the machine which is private. See, this is a private machine. By this way I can connect to my private machine. Now one more thing, let me exit. From here I'm not able to ping, right, my private machine, but I'm able to take the SSH of that machine. Let me try to ping it. I'm not able to ping this machine, right, but I'm able to take the SSH. So for ping, what we need to do is we need to open one of the traffic in the security group. So for that, we need to go to the security group. We need to click on the security group. We need to click on the edit inbound rule. After that, we need to add ICMP traffic, all ICMP traffic, and in the custom I will go with anywhere. You can restrict the traffic from here if you want to. Now let's wait, we will get the ping response. If not, let me rerun that command. Okay, still I am not able to ping. For that, let me see why we are not able to ping. We have the custom TCP ICMP. Oh, custom TCP, I'm so sorry, we did a mistake. We need to select the ICMP here. All ICMP done. Yes, all ICMP, and here we are getting the ping response. This is how you can connect to the machine which is running in the private subnet. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, do subscribe my channel, and if you have any comments or if you are not clear on any of the point, do mention it in the comment section. I will reply to you. Thank you.